Hi, Verbling. My name is Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're talking about cooking. We're going to be going over lots of cooking vocabulary, talking about food culture, and having some fun discussions. If you guys have any questions on anything we do today or would like to suggest material for future classes, you can let me know on Facebook or on my Verbling profile where you can also message me. And I'll put my Verbling profile in the chat box as well. While I welcome Claudio to class. Claudio, how are you?
Hi teacher, I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing really well. I am sweating my tush off over here. It's really hot today, but other than that, I'm enjoying the summer.
Here it's very hot today too, and I'm a little tired because I just got home from work.
So are you done for the day? Now you're free to pursue your own goals?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you have off, but yeah, it's been pretty hot recently. It's the only good weather for going to the beach and swimming, so that's nice, but
Yes,
a
I
little
agree.
hot. Okay. And Mirko, welcome to class.
Hello. Nice to
Good
meet
to
you.
have you back, Mirko. How's the weather near you today? Not so hot?
It's very hot in Italy.
Really? I thought it should be cooling down already.
No, it's hot.
Yuck. Well, for you, it's ending, right? The heat is almost over, and pretty soon it will be cool.
Yes, yes. It's coming
Pretty
the
soon it will be too
winter.
cool.
The winter is coming.
Yes. Amr, how about you? Is it hot or cool today?
I'd say it's cool. It's
Very
rained
nice.
in the morning, but it's cool.
I love the rain, even though it brings a little bit of humidity. The rain is really nice, or I think psychologically I enjoy the rain. It just feels like a comfy day to stay at home.
It's romantic.
Very. All right. So today we're talking about cooking and food. I'm going to put the notes in the chat box for you guys. And we'll get started with a couple of our warm-up questions. So, question number 1, what are life's simple pleasures? So, of course, cooking is considered one of life's simple pleasures. What are some other simple pleasures you guys can think of? Mirko, aside from cooking, what are some simple pleasures you can think of?
I think stay without do nothing. Stay in the bed without do nothing.
Yeah, time to be drowsy and sleepy and just lounge around. Definitely a
Yes,
simple
yes.
pleasure. Claudio, can you think of another simple pleasure?
Just lying down on the beach and drinking a cold beer.
Oh, yeah. Cold beer on a hot day. Definitely a simple
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes.
All right. Amr, how about you? What is a simple pleasure for you?
Nowadays, sleeping.
Sleeping?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very nice, especially when you go a long time without being able to sleep enough. On those days
Yeah.
when you do get to sleep, it just feels so great and luxurious. And Alex, welcome to class.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Good. Good to have you with us. Can you think of any of life's simple pleasures?
Yes. Eating, drinking, uh, sex.
These are the simple pleasures, I guess. All
Yes.
right. So I'm going to screen share the notes just in case you guys don't already have them open. If computer lets me do that, and we'll answer the second question on our warm-up list. How do you feel about cooking? So I want to know, do you guys do your own cooking or does someone else do it for you? And we'll go in the opposite order. Alex, do you do your own cooking?
Well, I don't like to cook, but I know uh, I know to make. I'm able to make the simple dishes like rice, pasta, no, these kind of things. But I don't like to cook.
So if you don't like to cook, who does your cooking normally? Or do you eat out of the house a lot?
My mother cooks, actually.
Oh, okay. So you cook sometimes, but your mom is the professional in the house.
Yes, yes.
All right. Amr, how about you? Do you do your own cooking? Do you like to cook?
No, actually, I can't cook, but sometimes I can cook a simple things like omelette, cheese, and something for breakfast only, but and make a lunch.
All right. So who does your cooking normally? Who's the professional in your house?
My mom.
Excellent. So sounds like you guys can both feed yourselves, but why have the basic when your mom is there ready to make you a very nice meal? All right. Claudio, do you like to cook? Do you do your own cooking?
I'm not cooking very well. I can cook only simple things like pasta, meat, vegetables, and these things. Usually cook my mother.
All right, sounds like we're all in a similar boat here. So your mom is the
Yes,
professional, but you know how to do simple things.
yes.
All right, sounds good. And Mirko, how about you? Do you do your own cooking?
I like to cook, but I live on my own, so I sometimes I cook, but I eat out very often.
All right. When you do cook at your house, what do you like to cook?
I like to cook pasta, meat, vegetable, different things.
All right, you do it all.
Yes, but I don't cook very often. Sometimes I cook for my friend, for some friend.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So today we're going to read a couple recipes and we're going to talk about some of the vocabulary and also a little bit of the culture of cooking, eating, and things like that. So I'm going to read the ingredients list and then I'm going to ask you guys to read sections of the instructions of cooking. So the first recipe we have is called chicken tikka masala. And when it says yields 4 servings, it means all of these ingredients combined to feed 4 people. Okay, so the ingredients are 1.5 pounds of boned and skinned chicken breasts, 2/3 cup plain low-fat yogurt, fresh ginger root grated, 2 cloves of garlic crushed, 1 teaspoon chili powder, 1 teaspoon ground coriander seeds, salt to taste, 2 tablespoons lime juice, 2 tablespoons oil, lime slices for garnish. All right, so now you guys are going to read some of this, and I'm going to highlight a section. And for this section, I'll ask Mirko to read for us.
Okay. Uh, Rice chicken, Pat dry with paper towel and cut into 3/4 cubes. Put cubes onto short skewers. Place skewered chicken into a shallow non-metal dish. In a small bowl, mix together yogurt, ginger root, garlic, chili powder, coriander, salt, lime juice, and oil. Pour over skewered chicken and turn to coat completely in marinade.
Thank you very much. And the rest of this, Claudio, will you read it for us?
Sure. Cover and refrigerate 6 hours or overnight to allow the chicken to absorb flours. Heat the grill. Place skewer chicken on a grill rake and cook 5 to 7 minutes, turning skewers and basting occasionally with any remaining marinade. Serve hot, garnished with lime slice.
Excellent. All right, does this one sound delicious? What do you guys think? How about Alex? What do you think of the sound of this recipe? Do you think you would want to eat this or not?
Yes, it sounds tasty.
And what would you eat it for? For lunch, for dinner, for breakfast, on Sunday, on Tuesday?
Mm. I would eat it on lunch for lunch
Mm-hmm.
in mm, Sunday, for example.
All right.
Mm.
Anyone else have an opinion on whether this sounds delicious or disgusting? I think it
There
sounds
are
pretty good,
a
but
lot of spices.
there are a lot of spices.
Yeah.
I think that this is an Indian food, but I'm not totally positive about that. If anyone with more knowledge on the ethnicity of this cuisine can correct me, you guys can go ahead and let me know in the chat box. But I think it's an Indian food. Does everyone here like Indian food?
No.
Yes.
Amr, did you say no or yes?
I have never eaten it.
Oh,
I have never tried.
interesting. Well, I'm a big fan. It does have a lot of spices, but usually it's pretty delicious, I think. All right. Any other comments or questions on this one before we move on to our next recipe?
No.
We have some vocabulary words in bold that we are going to be going over in a little bit. So if you have questions on those words, just be patient and we will get there. All right. The ingredients list for this next one, the food is called Musaka. It includes 1 pound ground beef, 1 cup chopped onion, olive oil, 1 cup water, ½ cup tomato paste, 2 tablespoons minced parsley, stick butter, salt and pepper, medium eggplants, ½ cup breadcrumbs, eggs well beaten, and ½ cup grated cheese. So I will divide this one here. Oops. Stop it. Nope. Okay. So this first section will be for Amr. Can you read that for us?
Sure. Brown the meat and onion in some olive oil. When well browned, add water, tomato paste, parsley, butter, salt, and pepper, and let it simmer on low for 1 hour and more, until sauce is thickened. In the meantime, peel and cut the eggplants lengthwise in one um, one 1/4 thick slices Soaked in olive oil to a golden brown.
Thank you very much. And Alex, will you finish reading that section, the white section there?
Mhm. Add 2 TPS breadcrumbs to the meat sauce and mix well. Butter and baking dish well and sprinkle with some breadcrumbs. Place half of 1/2 of eggplant slices in the dish, and spread 1/2 of the meat sauce on top. Repeat. Pour eggs on top and spread. Evenly sprinkle with cheese and breadcrumbs and bake at 350 for half an hour. Half an hour or until golden. Serve with cheese sauce if you want.
All right. Thank you very much. And Ken, welcome to class. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're talking about cooking today. Ken, do you do your own cooking, or does someone else do it for you? Do you like cooking?
Yeah, I'm doing cooking. Cooking. So yeah, and
Do you like it?
I used to like it, but now I have to do it regularly, so I don't like so much. I like it so much.
Yeah, I'm like that too. When I don't have to cook on a regular basis, then I really enjoy cooking. But when I have to do it every day, several times, then it starts to become boring and kind of unenjoyable. All right. So, how about this recipe? Does anyone think it sounds really delicious or really disgusting?
Delicious.
Yes.
Delicious? Why do you think it's delicious?
Yes. Because I like Musaka, is one of my favorite.
Really? You've had it before?
Yes, yes, it's a Greek dish.
That makes sense. I've never had it, but it sounds good.
It's very good Musaka.
Excellent.
I ate it when I was in Greece.
Wow.
Yes, it's good. It's good.
Wow. All right, so this one's popular, a little more popular than the last one, I guess.
Yes.
All right, and we have one more recipe before we talk a little more about the recipes themselves plus the vocabulary, and I'm going to read the ingredients. This one is called triple chocolate fudge brownies. Serving is one yield serving. 3-ounce fine quality bittersweet chocolate, not unsweetened, chopped. 1 ounce unsweetened chocolate, chopped. 3/4 sticks unsalted butter, cut into pieces. 3/4 cup sugar. 1 teaspoon vanilla. 2 eggs. I don't know why it has that one. Oh, two big eggs. 1/2 teaspoon salt. 1/2 cup all-purpose flour. 1/2 cup semi-sweet chocolate chips. Oh, I see. That was an L. Large. Okay. Yeah. So 2 large eggs. All right. So that's what it's made of. Now let's read it. And I'm going to highlight a couple sections and ask you guys to read. This first section is going to be for Ken. Go ahead and read the first. Actually, go ahead and read the whole thing since you haven't read yet.
Okay.
It's not that big.
Preheat oven to 350 degrees and butter and flour on 8. How can I? An 8.
8 by 8.
8 by 8 baking pan in a heavy 1.5 quarter, 6 liter, I guess. And saucepan melt bittersweet and unsweetened chocolate and butter over low heat. Stirring until smooth, then remove pan from heat cool mixture to lukewarm and whisk in sugar and vanilla. Add eggs, one at a time, whisking well until mixture is glossy and smooth. Stir in salt and flour and chocolate chips. Spread butter evenly in pan and bake in middle of oven 25 to 30 minutes or until toothpick comes out with crumbs adhering to it. Cool brownies completely in pan on a rack before cutting into 16 squares.
Thank you very much. So before we go on to the vocabulary, let's do a little comprehension here. Which recipe sounds the most appetizing to you? You're all going to answer this. And let's start this one with Amr. Which recipe sounds the best?
The last one, because I like coffee.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Me too. I totally agree. The last one sounds delicious.
I almost
right.
eat one of them
Really?
each day. Yes. And French chocolate.
Yum. Yes, I have to restrain myself as well with sweets. I would eat so many of them. Alex, how about you? Which of these recipes sounds the best?
I like all of them. Um, I would prefer it depends. It depends on the on the day. For example, for lunch I prefer the first. For dinner I prefer the second, and the third is dessert. So I can eat it um, whenever.
Yeah, dessert all day.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
Claudio, which recipe sounds the best to you?
I like chocolate, so the first one. And I like this, I don't remember the name, triple chocolate fudge and brownies.
Yeah, so that was your favorite. Do any of them sound not so good? Do any of these recipes sound gross? Or you just prefer this one?
I prefer this one. I like
But
that.
the other ones don't sound bad, it's just you like chocolate better than meat.
It's in the same way.
It is a tough choice.
Yes.
All right. And Mirko, which recipe sounds the most delicious to you?
The most delicious, I think, the triple chocolate fused brownies.
Wow,
For
a classic
dessert
sweet
is,
tooth.
yes, I
So
like chocolate, I
when
like
would
sweet.
you think about eating something like this? Do you eat something like this every day or less frequently?
No, every day is impossible because I gain very fat.
All right.
One time a week is possible.
Yeah, at least. It's good for your psychological health, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Question number 2. Which recipe requires at least 6 hours of preparation? Does anyone remember?
I think that one it includes meat, because meat takes a long time for to cook.
True. Does anyone remember more specifically which recipe it was? We have the chicken tikka
Chicken.
The
masala.
second
The
one.
chicken.
The
The
second one.
chicken.
So
The
we have
first one.
mixed opinions here. The first one. So where does it say that it takes a long time in the first one? What does it say about how long it takes? It's
Because
near
the
where it comes
chicken
up the
has to
marinade.
absorb flavors.
Yeah, so the first recipe, it's not just about cooking, but you also have to leave the raw chicken to absorb the flavors of the spices first. So that's why it takes so long. You have to cover and refrigerate for 6 hours before you even think about cooking it. All right.
Yes.
Next question. How can you know the brownies are ready? What do you do to check if the brownies are ready?
Yeah.
When
You can smell it
crumbs adhering to it,
from its shape.
What was that?
The smooth or the shape.
Oh, the shape. So you can tell because it gets larger, right? It puffs up a little bit. That's true, but here they mention a specific technique. So look back at what the instructions say and check. Can anyone see where it says?
with crumb adhering to it.
Yes, with crumbs. So if you stick a toothpick in and it comes out with crumbs stuck to it or adhering to it, then you know that's when it's ready. Although I think I heard someone also mention that it starts to smell when it's ready, and I really believe in that as well. Whenever I'm cooking something, I know it's done because like the whole house starts to smell like the thing I'm cooking, and then I'm like, perfect. That's the time. All right, and our last question here. Which recipe do you think has the least expensive ingredients?
Maybe the triple chocolate.
Yeah.
The triple chocolate again. Why do you guys think the triple chocolate?
Maybe the
Because the
second
meat
one.
is not cheap.
Second one, the beef.
No.
I'm
I
not
think the
totally sure.
third
It could
one.
be. The third one. So why do you think the chocolate one? You think chocolate is cheaper than beef and chicken?
Yes.
Could
Yes,
be. Could be.
could
It'd be
be.
interesting. I don't have the right answer here, but I think it's possible that the second one would be the cheapest, or the third one would be the cheapest, the chocolate one. But I guess it depends where exactly you're buying your groceries. All right. Any other comments or questions before we go on to talk about vocabulary?
No.
Then let's do it. So we have a list of the words that were in bold during the recipes. We're going to define them. The first one is yield, which we talked about quickly in the beginning. What does yield mean? What's a synonym for it or a good definition? No ideas? We saw it in the recipes where it said yield 1 serving, yield 4 servings. No? David,
Maybe
welcome to class.
it's the number of person, the number of people,
Yeah, I guess.
the ration. I don't ration.
Ration. Okay.
Ration.
Yes, we know that it's talking about ration. So when it says serving 1, it means you're making just for one person. And then if it says 4 servings, then you're making 4. But that's closer to the meaning for serving. So if you have 4 servings, you have 4 rations. But yield is close, but not quite that. No guesses on this word? Yield in this particular case is something like produce. So this recipe produces 1 serving or 1 ration or 4 servings. So here it's similar to produce. And David, welcome to class.
Hi, Michaela. How are you doing?
Good, I'm doing really well. David, tell us, do you do your own cooking and do you like to cook?
I just cook the basic things, Michaela, like rice and, well, basic things. I'm not like an expert. I consider myself like about.
In your house, do you do the most cooking, or do other people cook as well?
No, other people. Other people cook mostly.
All right. Cool. So let's get back to our vocabulary list. The next word is garnish. Garnish. And we saw that in the first, nope, not the first recipe. I don't see it anymore. Ah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, first recipe, garnish. So lime slices for garnish. Anyone want to try to define the word garnish?
Like the starter.
Add
Like,
the
I think
something.
garnish that things you eat at the beginning, like soup or something like that.
not quite. So in this case, it says lime slices for garnish. Would you eat the lime slice before you eat the rest of the food?
It's like a
No.
side.
Here, I'll call on someone so we have a little more organization here. How about Mirko? Any ideas what garnish means?
I think when you add something to a dish to make the dish more a different flavor,
I think you're right, but it has less
you
to do
add
with
another
flavor than
ingredient.
something else. David, can you add to our definition of garnish?
Well, Michaela could be, for example, like a side dish. It's like a complementary of the main dish.
Kind of. We're getting closer. Claudio, do you have anything to add for our definition for garnish?
Maybe it's like decoration near the plate, near decoration.
Yes, decoration.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So for garnish, it is an addition to the food, and frequently, like if you have a lime slice for garnish, people do frequently use that piece and put it on their food, but it's more for the visual effect than for the actual taste of the item. So sometimes people don't eat the garnish at all. Sometimes it's just for looking at, like people put a little spice on top or like a cherry on top. Maybe no one eats that piece, it's just to look pretty, and then people put it aside when they actually go to eat. All right. The next vocab word is skewers. And I'll try Amr first. Any idea what a skewer is?
Skewers.
So we're talking about putting the cubes of chicken onto a short skewer. No idea?
I think it's like something you put meat or chicken on it to put it in oven.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we put it on this to put it in the oven, but how exactly what is it made of, usually?
Uh, I don't know, but I think you cover it by meat, like when you make sausage.
Okay, all right. So you're right in some senses, but we need a little more information here. Alex, can you give us more information? What is a skewer usually made out of? What does it look like?
It's it's made of iron or steel. It's
Okay,
made of
sometimes, but there's
metal.
a more common material. Does anyone else want to help us? How about
It's
Mirko?
I think wood, there are stick wood,
Yes, it's most
maybe.
commonly made from wood. It can also be made from metal sometimes. Like if you use these all the time, maybe you have a permanent set. But most people dispose of these. There are these little wooden sticks. And so in this recipe, the recipe is to chop the chicken up into cubes and then put a wooden stick through the cube and then cook it that way. So you cook it on a grill outside, or you could even cook it in the oven if you wanted, but it's a wooden stick or sometimes a metal stick that you put through the piece of chicken while you cook it. All right.
And it has a sharp point to
Yes,
poke the meat.
exactly. Good point. Yes, that is important, an important part of the skewer.
Yes.
All right. How about marinade? The next word we have is marinade. So pour over skewered chicken and turn to coat completely in marinade. So we're pouring this marinade over the chicken and coating the chicken completely in this thing. What is it? How about Claudio? You want to give us a...
Maybe it's a kind of liquid. I remember that when I went in Edinburgh, but I'm not sure.
What is it? A kind of
It's a
what?
kind of liquid.
Oh, yes, it definitely is a kind of liquid. David, give us a little more information about a marinade. What is a marinade specifically?
Well, Michaela, I'm not an expert about cooking. Well,
That's okay.
it's maybe that like pre-cook when you are the step before cooking the meat. You have to make a process like that. I'm not sure. Hi.
Sorry. So this liquid is something that you put usually over a kind of meat, and then you leave it overnight. So a marinade is a sort of sauce that you put on before you cook. Many
Yeah.
sauces you put on after you've already cooked the food, but this one you put on before you cook the food.
Yeah, before, right.
All right. Next up, we have the word basting. Basting. So they were saying, heat grill, place skewered chicken on grill rack and cook 5 to 7 minutes, turning skewers and basting occasionally with any remaining marinade. Do you guys have a good idea about what basting might be?
Maybe it's to cover again with these spices.
Mm-hmm. In
The
order to baste, people usually use like a little paintbrush, or it looks like a paintbrush anyways, for cooking. You get all that good liquid on. Exactly. All right. Going down to the next recipe, we have a few more vocabulary words. The first one is simmer. Any idea what the word simmer means? So let it
Ready?
simmer on low.
Ready?
Did he say ready?
Yes.
Not quite. Not quite. Alex, help him out. Any ideas what simmer means?
I think to simmer is to boil the food at a low fire.
Exactly. So it's like boil, but sometimes people make a distinction between something called a rolling boil, which is when something is boiling with lots of big air bubbles. So it's like a lot of motion happening in the pot. And then simmering would be when you do see some air bubbles and it's almost to a full boil, but it's really light. So the heat is not as heavy as it might otherwise be. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The next word we have is sauté. Sauté. And obviously, the English language stole this word straight out of French, I'm pretty sure. We didn't come by it honestly. Mirko, any idea what sauté means?
It's not easy. Satay in olive oil to a golden brown. I think when you add oil to in this case, eggplant.
So you take a pan, you put a little oil in the bottom, and you put the eggplant or other vegetable inside. So in this case, it's kind of like frying, but it's frying with a very little bit of oil. And then the other kind of frying would usually be with a lot of oil. You see, like French fries, they're fried with tons of oil, versus sauté is frying with just a little bit. Thank you, Mirko.
Okay. Interesting.
Sprinkle. The next one is sprinkle. David, any ideas on what sprinkle means? Describe it for us.
Oh, yeah, Michaela. Sprinkle is like, well, mm, it's like pudding, but kind of different because it's not like a liquid, it's like little parts or little portions. So it's like pudding, but with no liquid, but with little portions around the thing, around the whole thing.
Yeah, tiny little portions being showered down. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks, David.
Uh-huh.
And down to our next recipe, we have a few more. Actually, we have a lot more in this one. The next word is lukewarm. Cool the mixture to lukewarm. Claudio, any idea on this one?
Is when the food it's not cold and not hot. It's waiter.
Yeah, not cold, not hot, almost cold, but not quite. Kind of more like maybe a little warmer than room temperature. Exactly. All right. Amr, what about the next one? Whisk. We're going to whisk in sugar and vanilla.
Maybe you put them together.
When you put them together, and then what do you do?
You mix them.
Yeah, you mix them. It's a kind of mixing. And
Yes.
I'm going to screen share a picture of a whisk just so you guys know what it is. It's a very specific item that I never use because they are so hard to clean. Okay, so this is a whisk. And so usually when people say whisking, they mean to use this tool, this KitchenAid tool. But I personally never ever use this tool because it's really hard to clean. I hate cleaning these things, so I never use them. I guess I'm a little lazy. Does anyone else feel the same about cleaning this thing?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Totally impossible.
Yeah.
All right. So whisk implies using that usually, although I never do. Okay. We just have a couple more words before we're on to our sentence making. And the next one is glossy. Alex, what does glossy mean?
Skin well and consistent, glossy and smooth. I don't know. Glossy? It's like shiny?
Yes, exactly. Great guessing.
Okay.
Glossy is just like shiny. All
Yes,
right,
I-
we're back to Mirko. Oh, question on that one about glossy?
No, it sounds me familiar because these things that you use to paint your lips.
Ah, yes. Lip
Gloss.
gloss. Exactly.
gloss,
It comes
yeah.
from the same place. So
Yes,
when you
yes.
put gloss on your lips, it's to make them shiny. Excellent detective skills there.
Thank you.
All right. The next word is batter. Mirko, any idea what batter is? Spread the batter evenly in pan.
And maybe the preparation that you have made with whisk.
Yeah, exactly. The thing you created here. We have this liquid made of flour and chocolate and vanilla, sugar, eggs, salt, all of that stuff together makes this liquid that we call a batter. So before things are cooked, like cookies or for cakes, when it's in that liquid stage, we call it batter. And
Okay.
David, you get adhering. You define adhering?
Um, adhering is like well, uh, add something. No, it's like paste, kind of paste.
You're close, I think. So if you look at the sentence, it says a toothpick comes out with crumbs adhering to it. So you put a toothpick into the dessert, and when it comes out, where are the crumbs?
No, I don't know.
Anyone else want to give me a good synonym? I feel like a good synonym would help with this one.
Paste.
Yeah.
Huh?
Attached.
Attached. Yes.
Paste?
And
Could you say
paste.
paste?
Paste is close, but I think I see where you're going with that, but usually I wouldn't say, you could say maybe like pasted to it, pasted to the crumbs. It's not the most common way to say it, but it's a possible way. The first thing that comes to mind for me is stuck to the toothpick or sticking to something, like a sticker. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions on vocabulary? Any other words you guys need explained? There's lots of vocabulary here. No?
It's okay.
All right. Then we're going to make a few sentences before doing a little bit more discussion about these things. I'm going to assign you each a couple words and ask you guys to write a sentence in the chat box with it. We'll just do one round of these. Alex, will you write a sentence using garnish and plate? That would be the third set there. Amr, use skewer and barbecue. Claudio, use baste and turkey. David, use simmer and soup. And Mirko, use chef and saute. All right, we have one sentence ready. The man got angry because the waiter brought him a plate in which there was more garnish than edible food. Oh, I love that sentence, Alex. And sometimes that happens. They give you a big old garnish, and you're like, what am I going to do with this? I'm just throwing this away.
Yes.
All right. And Alex, if you want to write another sentence, you can go ahead and pick one of the other sets of vocabulary and write another while the other students in class are still working.
Okay.
Our next sentence, a good chef should saute in olive oil eggplants. All right. Love that sentence, but we should flip the object and that prepositional phrase around. So it would sound a lot more natural if we said, a good chef should saute eggplants in olive oil.
Okay.
Thanks, Mirko.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next one. On Friday, we always eat barbecue, and I like it when it's skewered on coal. All right. And when you say on coal, you mean it's cooked on coal instead of a different type of grill, right?
Yeah,
All
that's what
right.
I'm seeing.
Excellent. Yeah, maybe throw the word cooked in there to make it more clear that it's not, the coal isn't on the skewer, it's under the skewer.
Yes.
All right. Next up, I baste my turkey in this special sauce for dinner. Lovely. Thanks, Claudio. No corrections there. And our next sentence, if you want to eat the soup, put it in the oven and then simmer for a couple of minutes, then it will be ready. Yes. This is a good sentence, except I do think it's a little bit odd that you put soup in the oven. That's usually not how we make soups. We usually put it on the stove. But other than that, it's a good sentence. It's a good sentence, just a little odd because usually we don't cook soup in the oven, but on the stove. All right. Thanks, David. And one more. The spider soup simmers in the witch's black pot. Ooh, Halloween-themed sentence.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, we only have a few minutes of class left, so we're going to skip down and do a little bit of this question answering. And let's do the first one. What would you like to eliminate from your diet? So I want to know, what's something that you eat but you wish you didn't eat? Mirko, will you go first? Tell us something you wish you didn't eat.
Yes, I think fat food.
So like what? What kind of fat food do you eat?
Some kind of like bacon, for example.
Ooh, bacon. That's a popular one. Not so healthy, but very
Yes,
popular.
but sometimes, yes.
All right. David, what's something you wish you could eliminate from your diet?
Yeah, I would like to eliminate Coke from my diet. It's not very healthy for me, and well, I need to quit drinking so many Cokes.
So you drink more than you should?
Yeah, sure.
All right, that would be a good thing to eliminate. Claudio, what would you eliminate from your diet?
I removed from my diet chocolate.
No,
Yes,
why?
yes. Because it's very fat and I had to eat a lot.
That would be a very sad thing to eliminate, but I guess
Yes.
it might be healthier that way. I don't know.
Only one a week. I can I can eat it.
All right. Limiting, maybe then. And Amr, what would you eliminate from your diet?
Actually, my body is not fat, and food doesn't affect me badly.
So you like your diet just the way it is, no changes?
No changes, yeah. But I want to get more.
More? Like more food?
Yeah, yes, because I'm thin.
All right, so you'd go the opposite way. Instead of eliminating things, you'd add things.
Yeah.
Okay. And Alex, what would you eliminate from your diet?
I would like to reduce the quantity of meat I eat.
All meat or any particular kind of meat?
No, every kind of meat. Every kind of meat.
All right.
Mm.
Well, if I could eliminate one thing from my diet, I think I would choose cheese. And I say that just because I love cheese so much that I just shouldn't eat as much cheese as I do. So I wish I could eliminate it, but that has been a struggle for me. I'm not very good at that. So we're about done. Do any of you guys have comments or questions before we wrap up today?
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, we were talking about food. I'm hungry too. Thank you guys for coming and participating, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.